Hello and welcome to Heroes of the Mist. Today is Sunday, February 10th, 2019. This is Heroes of the Mist episode number 32. I am your host and game master, Hawk Robinson, and this is...
John Wilker.
Adam.
Hi there, I'm Adam. I'm playing Torin, who is a human thief that has died and risen for your sins of not wiping down the weightlifting equipment. Please make sure all towels go into the bin when done.
Hail Cord.
Hail Cord!
You're the
As a
messiah
disciple
of
of Cord,
Cord.
I'd like to just say that sweaty equipment would not be a sin against Cord.
True. Though remember, that initiation process of the dunking in sweat wasn't actually required. It was an extra feature.
It's a sexy option.
So I noticed I have spots for all this stuff.
Okay. I am Lillian. I am playing River. She is a sea spirit folk Wujin who also knows some martial arts. She follows Ryujin, who is Lord of the Sea as well.
I'm Katie Coonan. I am playing Moisha Turtlebomb. Moisha is not so sure that the motivation that sent him on this quest is worth continuing the quest, but he's a man of his word and he will continue.
When you get back home and find out she's found another.
He's not sure she's worth it.
And Joe?
I'm Joe Coonan, no relation. I am playing Famhunk Guarion, who is a half-elf fighter thief, but his actual job is to enforce the contracts that have been signed between his grandfather and other people for his family's small weaving concern in far-off Arabia, where the desert sands are hot and the desert evenings are even hotter. Because as a half-elf, I have 7 brothers and sisters who are all pure human, so awkward.
And behind the scenes, we have Dan helping with the tech here in the studio, and then Pyro's helping remotely with the moderation. And we are missing a player. Andy did send a text message to John that he couldn't make it because of the weather, because I guess he didn't see the message about the shuttle. Yeah, the shuttling option. And apparently he doesn't have my contact info somehow. Because if you guys call the 800 number, RPG info, you'll find my extension there too. But so we're hoping he will join us, but we might be down a player. Talkless, yes, because he's playing the illusionist gnome.
Pretty big hit off of that special drink.
Well,
I mean,
I thought he was the only ones who didn't. Let's see. Oh no, he did.
Yeah.
Never mind. Janera, Farhad, and Talk did drink from the bowl. So we might just have him off on some hallucinogenic Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Fear and Loathing in Draya Gita.
This is good for country.
So, you hopefully heard the preamble about what the show is about, so we don't have to go through all that again, and in the future we're just going to have that on loop with the music when we're getting ready to go live, hopefully save time. So, previously on Heroes of the Mist, the heroes entered Draya Gita, the Druid's Gate. For those of you who might not have caught the description before, it consists on the eastern road going north-south. There are intersecting walls running east and west. Each wall is about 500 feet apart. Each wall is 100 feet high with a gatehouse over 250 feet tall with gate doors 200 feet high, which are now closed. The walls stretch a mile in each direction, east and west from the road. There are different climates, flora and fauna, changing about every 500 feet or so within the confines of these walls. To the east, the driest, most desert-like at the far end, and to the far west, the wettest, most swamp-like environment. This is the fall festival. You are having the first night of it. And you each made various offerings around the low, moss-covered stone altar there. And about 200 adults and about 30 children, ages from baby to young adult, gathered in simple robes. And the rest of you were also in your simpler clothes, including Karn and Janera. And even Karn was barefoot, which was a shock for everybody to see him just in casual clothing. And up until the chanting and the portals started to open for the Fae to come through, he was actually looking slightly relaxed. And as soon as that started, he started to get back into vigilant mode. And not so relaxed, though he's not wearing any armor or carrying any weapons. So the first night of the Fall Festival was finishing. You had the initial summoning of the Fae through various 3-foot tall and 3-foot wide doors at the base of trees and from the ground. There was drumming and chanting and singing, and Fae of many kinds came forth, taking up the various offerings around the altar. Each of you had an interesting encounter or 2 or 3 with the various creatures. None of you saw what or if Karn or Janera made any offerings. That was something that was asked, and none of you actually saw that. The offerings, from your understanding, represented giving thanks for all the flora and fauna life in the world. The Fae like to take credit for that. True or not, it's good relations to humor them with offerings. Did you have a question, Katie?
Yes, can you remind me Moisha's interaction with the Fae?
I will. We will get to that shortly.
Okay.
Yes. So Torin, you interacted with a 6-inch brownie.
No.
What?
I didn't interact with him.
Well, okay. You observed a 6-inch brownie eating the mushroom offering. That was, he said, 1 bite was a day's worth of food.
Yeah, it's whatever Heroes Feast does. One power of
So
Heroes
you watched
Feast.
as he took a little nibble and his belly went.
I think it's one of the day. I think it like keeps you fed for a week and gives you temporary hit points or something.
Well, I think the whole mushroom did or something. I can't remember, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And he was nibbling on it. You watched his belly distend very rapidly, and he was very happy with that. But you did run into some dancing shoes, some green emerald-colored dancing shoes that wanted you to dance. And one of them did slip on your feet at one point, but you managed to get it off before the other one was on. And when you went into the feast, they didn't follow, and they've been sitting out there tapping and tapping. And then at one point, they disappeared from sight. But you get a feeling they're out there waiting for you. And that was one of the reasons you turned down drinking the bowl when it came around, because you looked over there and they're going tap, 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 waiting for you.
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if the fact that they didn't, wantonly want to take me off their land and possibly make me die from dancing for their own amusement, which just kind of, it puts a bummer on there. 'Cause I like dancing.
Yeah. And make sure you remember to lean into the microphone as you're talking. I mean, you don't have to get that close, but...
Like this?
No.
Oh.
Back off a little. Okay, right in between the 2 extremes. Right about there, yeah. John, same thing. You'll want to lean into that when you guys... So the
Oh,
audio's
this
a
is
little better.
perfect right here.
Buddy. You found it? Oh, you had it?
No, it's
Oh, it was another folder.
perfectly positioned. Remember, I had a pair of binders.
Oh, okay.
Spells.
So you did have it, just it was here. Okay. It wasn't in one of my folders. Well, good. I'm glad you found it. Okay. Let's see. And then River, first you ran into a little white fox and its kits, because it took your little paper offering in with the kanji or katakana or whatever it was, and took that little thing, and you thought that was... What did you think of that when you saw that?
I wasn't sure what was happening.
And that was before any of the Fae came through.
Yeah, I was confused if it was fair or not, pretty much most of the time.
Yep. Because then a winged turtle showed up and tried to pull it away. And you tried to pull it away from the turtle.
I mean, if someone's happy already with it,
Yeah. And then
why ruin it?
You let it take it and it went up
Yeah.
to a tree and started flipping it open and trying to read what you wrote. But you weren't particularly happy with that flying turtle.
I was like, someone always got that, so,
Yeah. And then you encountered a white cat that you were petting. And
Lots of white animals.
such. What's that?
I had a white fox.
You
and
did.
a white...
You did, yes.
Cat.
Interesting, huh? Pure white. Like the cat was albino. And then this fluffy white cat, not albino, but very fluffy white cat befriended you.
Fox spirits.
But then what happened with that?
Oh, it wanted to talk more and then wanted to know more about me.
And how did it talk?
It I don't remember how it talked.
You
It was
just
like,
talking straight into your
yeah,
head.
oh yeah, I was talking straight into my head, which I didn't think about very through
Well, I mean,
at
there's
all.
Fae everywhere.
It was like,
so, you know.
Whatever goes here.
Yeah, you've seen all kinds of strange things.
And then I tried to do magic, and that was the red line of no.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I dropped it and turned into a dragon.
Which
Wow.
you'd notice Herschel had been acting all
Yeah.
terrified when he came up to the cat. Herschel is Moisha's dog.
Mm-hmm.
And a number of people have been looking strangely at you and giving you a wide berth. Now you have some idea maybe why.
Yeah.
Turned into this huge white dragon, but of a more Eastern style, not the more Western style dragon. And what did it try to talk you into doing?
It wanted me to go away and talk somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and that seemed like a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what.
It went off in a huff.
Yeah, it was very
quite
angry.
irate that you refused.
Yeah.
But it didn't
Wow.
force you. But it was very
Well, it tried to force me
How did,
with the magic because it wanted.
oh, yes, it did try to charm you.
Yeah, which
Yes,
is like the
luckily
same
you
thing.
saved.
Yeah.
Just try to
Yes.
slip through your roofie, that's all.
Yeah, you know.
That's right. But luckily you saved, and that made you even more upset because you realized it was trying to manipulate you.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went off to the west somewhere. You saw it fly off in a huff. It could have eaten you in one bite. It didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it came through the portalway in its little 3-foot form. So, the Fae are tricky that way. Moisha, you first saw like some of the little fairies put on your little dolls that you had hand woven. And you were very happy to see that. They couldn't fly, but they liked fitting them on like little suits and were very happy to play around in them. And also a glowing 6-inch caterpillar put several on its back and started just carrying them around, happily carrying around a few of your dolls. And a few others here and there picked them up as well. Some of the larger fairies that had a little more strength and size picked them up and started like dancing in the air with them. And you were just...
Pleased.
Yeah. And Talk, who's not here, unfortunately, but the illusionist gnome.
You may be able to get this soon.
Oh, do you got a message from him?
Yeah, in Twitch.
Okay. He encountered a little deer/centaur/elf/hibsel fae. So it's basically a little tiny 3-foot deer. Had the lower quarters, the whole lower half of a deer, the body and head of a small elf with deer ears. And it drank the few water skin drops that he had offered left over from the tree of one of the trees of life, not the tree of life, but a tree of life, back when you guys had run into Albie, the Mad Hermit, and the same water that had helped reincarnate Torrens when he was ripped apart by the 6-legged Black Panther. And you did notice that this little Hibsel-like creature started turning a little fishy-like, got little glittery scales, and its face and head became a little flatter. But it was only a few drops and did not fully transform, and seemed perfectly happy with what it was experiencing. Talk also saw a leprechaun, and trouble ensued from that. I'll wait for him hopefully to be able to get back on here and he can talk about the rest of it. Farhad ran into a pipe-smoking leprechaun. You want to talk a little bit about that, Joe?
Yeah. Pardon me. I had left a gift of tobacco, and because I had some, and a little pipe-smoking leprechaun grabbed it and started smoking it, and then we started talking. Hey, I like tobacco, you like tobacco. How are you doing? I've never been here before. Show me around. And we had a great time. The leprechaun started introducing me to people and helping me socialize and meet people and figure out what's going on and how to behave properly with the etiquette of the evening. And we had a grand old time.
Great. And then you guys, so after the summoning with the drumming and the music and a little bit of dancing, it finally reached a crescendo and suddenly stopped, and the feast began, and you all went and gathered at the table, and you enjoyed this massive feast of many, many, many foods of many kinds. You get to meet a number of the other folk living here, the various druids and such. But you noticed all of the Fae were not able to come within 10 feet of any of the feast tables. That was the closest they could come. And some were, seemed to be trying to. Many others just kind of went off and did their own thing. Talk especially used this to his advantage when dealing with the creature he was dealing with. And so everybody pretty much partook of the feast part, right? There wasn't anybody who didn't partake of the main feast. It was just the bowl that there was some split, correct?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Joe?
I definitely ate.
Yes. Mightily. And so near the end of the feast, as everybody was feeling pretty stuffed and content, a fancy wooden bowl with gold trim and some runes was passed around. Everybody was taking sips. You notice none of the children who were prepubescent drank from it, but most of the adults did, although not all. There were some who opted out. Even Dranera did, though Karn did not. Dranera then explained that drinking from this would make the rest of the evening a more intense experience, also help you stay awake through the night and engage in the more intimate activities of this part of the festival. With that information, some of the characters opted out of the drinking of the bowl, and others decided to go with it. So Dranera did drink from it, Farhad did drink from it, and Talk did drink from it. But I think Talk had missed the information about that. And did not drink from it Moisha, River, Karn, and Torin. And did your character?
Did my character drink? Yes.
Okay. So that was pretty much
Part of Faye, I would have done that.
Yeah. So that was pretty much where we left it at. It was as that bowl passed around, and it was coming up on. Was it midnight? I think it was coming home midnight. Yeah, I think it was coming up on midnight. And at this point, a number of you had asked when it was polite to leave, because you knew a more intimate part of the festivities were coming that some of you were not comfortable with. But you didn't want to be rude, and so you've been informed that after the feast was over and people started to go off to the other areas to do that, that would be an appropriate time to wander off and, to wherever, go to sleep or do whatever you want to do, that would be an appropriate time. So now that the feast is officially done, there are many people lingering in the feast and talking, but some are walking up to others and taking their hands and wandering off to other areas. Some drums and pipes and stringed instruments here and there throughout the woods are starting to strike up, but it's more little pockets here and there. It's not organized as a single group as it was before. And it's slowly creating a little bit of a cacophony, but not unpleasant. It's just, you got one little group over this one playing one little tune, another one over here doing another one, but they're not unpleasant, even though they may not be in sync with each other.
I have another question.
Shoot.
Because Katie has a bad memory.
Mm-hmm.
What are our marching orders after the Druid's Gate?
You're supposed to continue north and try to get over the mountains to try to find the Oracle.
Okay.
You're supposed to be looking for clues about where the Oracle might be.
Right.
Because you guys have some information and a map to... So, the problem with... You don't have a lot of details, but apparently the map changes based on certain things. And you guys have to get to the right area first. And so with that, you've got to kind of ask around a little bit about where the Oracle might be. Because her location has changed a number of times. Because there are those out there who want to destroy her.
Right.
So it wouldn't hurt if you're cautious and you trust somebody, to ask about when the last sighting of the Oracle might be or the best paths to take. But your understanding was you needed to get north. You need to take one of the north passes over to the other side of the mountains and try to get to one of the volcanoes, and that was supposed to be a way that would open a way to find her. But there are a couple of volcanoes in the north and a couple of passes in the north, so you kind of need to figure that out. You've also been warned that to the north of here there has been an all-out small war going on between the Centaur, the Northrons, and the Wood Elves of the area over space. They're fighting over space, over land, over resources. So you have that information. previously. In fact, it was an audience participation person who helped with some of that information, among other things. So yeah, it would be helpful for you to find out where the Oracle might be, which path and paths you should take. It would be helpful just to get to meet people, get to know what's on the road ahead. You guys don't have a whole lot of info about what is north of the Druid's Gate, what to expect from here. So it wouldn't hurt to get that information. And you might want to get specialized equipment and such. You might want to ask for that once you have some idea where you're going.
We have talk.
We have talk. Yay! Welcome, Andy. Welcome.
Hi. Do you have the volume set good? Or?
It's a little loud.
Okay, let me see if I can do it.
Okay. So, yeah. So, So, John actually he had made a character for this show months ago. He's been helping as the assistant GM. But this actually seemed a perfect place for him to get to do a little cameo with the character he made. So he's actually going to be playing his original character from way back when. Little cameo part here, so you guys will get to roleplay that a little bit. And who knows, he might have some useful information or not. Depends. That will make it easier on him since the NPC info here, I haven't gotten a lot to him to make it useful for him in this particular context. I did start getting stuff for up north, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You've been reading through the wiki?
A little bit.
Okay.
I've been Dr. Wing my brain.
Okay. Understood. I got to get that contract written up, too. And I got to get a paper done this week. Excuse me. So, all right. What are you doing there, Tori?
Taking off and being at the feast.
You're done. The feast is pretty much officially over.
Did I see those little green shoes around?
Not currently.
They want to jump me and murder me. Yeah. I think I'm going to just go. Torn decides that the best thing to do is check on Leon and Dobson,
Okay.
favorite pack animals. Maybe
Yep.
they're doing okay.
Okay. So you're gonna head off to the stables.
Yes, and keep an eye open for the green shoes.
Remember, the stables are just on the east side of the southern gate. Okay, so you head off to the stables.
River is going to bed because she has not slept for a very long time because we didn't sleep.
That's right. Okay, so you're
Last
gonna head to
night.
the barracks on the the west side of the southern gate.
Yes.
Okay. And just put your stuff in the foot locker and plop down on the bed
Yep.
there. All right, and get some good meditative sleep. All right. Hey, it's a bed. I
Yeah.
had one since the barracks, which were not quite as nice as here, back at the Fist of Cord.
It's a bed, and there aren't eyes watching us.
Right, yeah. No, you actually do feel safe here. There's weird stuff going on. You're a little nervous about all the Fae wandering around, but you have not seen
But they're
any...
not dinosaurs.
True.
Or fire emus.
True.
Or cavemen, or a multitude of other
As you walk
things.
into the barracks, there are no Fae in there. You see them flying around and walking around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're up around the walls. You don't see them leave the walls, but you see them all over the place. But they don't seem to be going inside the barracks or inside the stables. So, all right. So you go in there, and there's a couple of little wood-burning stoves in there helping keep it warm, and so it's actually pretty pleasant in there. Moisha.
Moisha takes Herschel and heads to the barracks, but because he really doesn't want to have to get naked.
Which you do see people starting to remove their garments as
Yeah,
they
I
wander
mean,
off.
he's gotten the impression that will be expected of him, and he is not comfortable taking off his union suit in public. But he wants to see if anyone knows about how they might find the Oracle, but he's too afraid to talk to anybody.
Well, you guys know you're going to be here for anywhere from 3 to 7 days. So,
so he just goes to bed.
Okay, so you go on in as well. So the two of you go into the barracks and start getting ready for bed. Do you talk to each other at all about your experience that you just had while you're in there getting ready?
No.
No?
Been up for
Okay.
24 hours.
All right. Well, you both walk in there about the same time. So, all right. Talk.
Hi, I'm still trying to figure out volume.
Under Windows, are you using Windows?
Yeah.
In the little right-hand corner, there's a little speaker icon. Right-click on that, and you can do properties. You can change your input settings. But go ahead and just tell us what you're, just don't speak too loudly. Go ahead and tell us what Talk is doing. And remember, Talk did imbibe from the bowl that is a combination stimulant, psychedelic, and aphrodisiac. Without getting, graphic or anything. Family friendly.
Sure. He's really just reeling from his problems with the leprechaun that was really an imp.
Yep.
And
Go ahead and talk about that a little bit for those who just tuned in. Go ahead and talk about that briefly, your experience with that.
Oh, well, he met what was seemingly a leprechaun, and he was charmed into trusting him and revealed his entire backstory, which has not yet happened at all in the story to anyone.
But where were you when that happened?
What was that?
Where were you when you did that revelation?
Inside of some kind of cave underground that he had made.
That the creature, the Fae, had made, yes.
Yes.
Were you under duress?
As the imp got more frustrated and started revealing more of his true nature, Talk simultaneously started getting out of the charm spell started wearing off, and he started having a panic attack due to claustrophobia, which he complained about, and the imp moved him to the top of a tree.
Very, very tippy top.
Mm-hmm.
That was very nice of him.
Which, oddly enough, did not help his
anxiety level.
His anxiety. It just kind of changed variety of anxiety.
Right.
And finally, he was able to basically annoy the imp enough with his indecision to get him to leave him alone. We'll see if that comes back to bite him or not. But
Persuasion by annoyance.
yes.
Annoyance persuasion.
Excels at.
And what else? So at the end there, you were saying, come in here and talk to me, and he's like, I can't go in there. Come out here and we can talk. And you were, because in the feast area there was a boundary that the Fae couldn't enter.
And I used the excuse that I'd already agreed to meet people at the feast, so I couldn't bargain with him and be at the feast. And I wouldn't bargain without breaking bread and wine with him. Because that's just not how things are done.
Yep, and then you walked up and enjoyed the feast and had a sip of the bowl, and then...
Yeah, I, just trying, I'm still, reeling from the whole thing and just trying to get myself back to normal. And then I drink from a bowl that's being passed around, which probably had the opposite effect of what I was looking for.
Well, a feeling of euphoria did wash over. It did erase your anxiety.
True. But probably didn't help me to a state of normality.
No, definitely did not make things more stable and normal and predictable. Instead, the colors became greatly enhanced, your senses became greatly enhanced, which is a little overwhelming in your current state. And it's really, rather than being tired, you now feel very awake and invigorated. And libidinous.
I think I just cut the volume by 50%. Did it
Yes.
change?
Yes, it did. That's
Okay.
that's a little too much.
Too much?
Split
Okay.
split the difference.
Alright, then we'll go for 75.
Great.
Sorry.
It's all right.
First time.
Remoting in. Yep. I'm glad you made it though. So what's Talk doing?
Talk is troubleshooting his microphone.
Did you try turning it off and turning it back on? Is it
okay? How's this volume?
A little strong, but let's quit fiddling with it and just quit focusing on that. Let's focus on what Talk is doing. You can fiddle with it a little bit more when it's not your turn.
Okay.
You're good right now. It's fine the way it is.
Okay. So he's just kind of seeing how things are going and trying to meet people and mingle.
Okay. Well, people are getting up and people are getting up from the table, grabbing the hands of others, and disrobing as they wander off into the bushes and trees. Some are going over to listen to music, though naked. Others are going off to more private pairings.
Well, I'll look around for my companions first off. I haven't touched base with them since I got sidetracked.
You're looking around, and Farhad, what are you doing?
Well, when I was sitting down to eat, there was like a kid on one side of me.
Yes.
And like a gentleman who I describe as a dullard next to me.
Yes.
He didn't seem very bright.
Correct.
And I was eating and feasting and having fun.
Yep.
Now that it looks like the festivities are going to the next level. Farhad is looking for anyone to participate with.
Okay. You see a number of others that look like they're definitely intrigued and interested that you could probably easily approach if you wished.
Cool. Farhad is game. He's like,
all right.
Hi. Oh, hi.
All right. Are you going off to?
Have you ever been to a radio?
Are you going off to one of the musical? Yeah. Let me. Oh, so you're just going to do small talk with them?
No, I'm going to woo them.
Okay.
He doesn't know that, like, he doesn't understand that it's a done deal.
Okay.
For, like...
Okay.
So
right, so he thinks he has to persuade.
The sort of awkward... he's outside of this community.
Right.
Farhad is a little bit forward compared to a lot of other people. But inside this community, he's, virtually puritanical.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So he's gonna, he still thinks he has to woo people. So
Okay.
he's going to try to.
Well, some groups are going out. Everybody's shedding their clothing. Some are going off to some little groups of music. Others are going off to pair up, and others are going off into other groups. Who you wandering off with? Out of those three.
Farhad is looking for the group with the tallest women.
Okay. All right. So you go wandering off there, and we will fade to black on that and continue on. So, meanwhile, what is Lindale doing?
Lindale of House.
Quickly describe into the microphone, please, Lindale.
I am Lindale of House Alalase. The Romanian word Stella Folium instead. Bard probationer of Falkland College. 5.5 centuries old. I am currently playing my didgeridoo, a song by Kenny G. He's a great card.
That's just wrong. That is just wrong.
He's the highest grossing musical artist from the city of Seattle. You take that back.
I have no affinity with Seattle, so no, I won't take that back. I mean, I guess it's better than if he had said Yanni.
Yeah. I've been playing the pan flute.
I guess that would have been...
That's definitely not the wooing music. That's the aftermath. The psychedelics earlier hit.
Okay, so he's one of the musical groups then that's playing.
Yeah, I'm playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured out how to make a didgeridoo sound like a saxophone.
Truly, your bard skills are mighty.
Yes.
Roll your charisma.
Oh, good.
I bet you do. Thanks to racial bonuses.
Racist.
I'll just use this one. And 13.
Okay. So you're doing an excellent rendition of some multiverse alternate musician that it came to you in a dream.
Yes.
Of Kenny G music in didgeridoo. Now, audience member Papa Voodoo says we need to make Hawk plays didgeridoo to demonstrate. Not tonight. I do have
how many hero
didgeridoo.
points does he have to get?
There's a different stream for that.
Yeah, there is actually the Synthetic Zen stream on YouTube. So usually on Friday nights, but I haven't had requests for a while, so I haven't done it for a while.
Methinks your lungs couldn't handle the didgeridoo right now.
Yeah, with the cold and everything, it would definitely be rough.
Hawk is too sober to try to play saxophone music on a didgeridoo.
Well, I could find my now I'm gonna forget my duduk, my Armenian duduk, because that is well, but it's a beautiful, haunting sound. I can't find it. I think maybe that's what's in my briefcase down in Tucson. I might have left it down there. I hope that's where it is. Anyway, Papa Voodoo says, "What if I drop some hero points?"
Mm-hmm. Drop lots, drop lots.
Mm-hmm.
100,000.
Well, it's got to be something we can tie to the story, but I guess since John has already done that, John would have to play the didgeridoo.
I'm afraid my didgeridoo sounds a lot more like a bull than an actual musical instrument.
Also, do you have any idea how hard it is to play the pentatonic scale on a didgeridoo?
Yeah. That would be very problematic. Somehow he's doing it, but that is beyond my means. And I can't do circular breathing. I can only do I can do the rhythm and get my breathing going with it, but I've never been able to master the circular breathing thing to do the sustained non-stop thing. Not everybody who plays didgeridoo can do circular breathing. The masters can, and it's awesome that they can do that. I guess we don't have something in the audience interaction thing for performing, making a player or the GM perform. I guess we could do that. We need to set a little bit higher bar.
Yeah.
But we should put that in there if we wanted to do that.
500 sounds reasonable.
500's a little low. For how much people rack up the points here.
Okay.
That's kind of low.
dollars.
I will. Yeah, thanks, Papa Voodoo. He says you can barely do regular breathing. Thanks a lot. That is true.
Well, Papa Voodoo is not wrong.
Yeah, I know. Because of my lungs, I got scar tissue. But I'll add something in there for asking. Well, let me put it this way, because it's always challenge by choice. I wouldn't want to put any of you on the spot that you were not comfortable with. So there needs to be an alternative, like an either or thing. Like if it was either the what?
Truth or dare?
No. That this is not
wrong
junior
channel.
high. I'll have to think about that. Let's keep the game going here, but I'll think about that. But sorry, I don't have that on there right now. I'm fine with it. If we want to force me to perform music or something, or my fear of singing, what have you.
Yes.
I'm willing to take that on. I won't force other players to do that, but if other players were interested in that, because I'd set it at a point that hopefully would lead to an actual donation, because that's the point, is we want to get people to actually donate. So we'll set it somewhere in that range. I'll remind me at the end of the show, Dan, and everybody, to add something for the audience interaction with that. But I'll make sure I set it up so that it's not uncomfortable for you guys. So, I mean, other than if they make me sing, then it'll be uncomfortable for everybody, but oh well.
I would be singing.
I have to
Okay.
an environmental impact statement.
So you're doing a little music group thing. All right, Torrin, so you've wandered into the stables, and the horses and all the other animals in there are dozing happily.
All right.
One of them, Dobson, kind of wickers a little as you approach, recognizing your pace.
Oh, hey, buddy, how's it going?
Nuzzles up to you
Go to
happily.
the stall,
Yep.
sit down in the hay and just pet
Yeah.
on him.
You've never seen his coat, his hair in such great shape, and seen him so happy and healthy. Just hasn't even been a full night, and already looks happier and healthier than you've ever seen him.
Aw, that's good. That's real good. I pretty much sit and tell them of the evening and of these crazy little magic boots that probably want to kill me. Which is like, why do they even do that? I mean, he's fake, man. I don't know.
Okay. And River's sleeping, Moisha is sleeping, Farhad has gone fade to black, and Lindalay is performing musically.
I'm inspiring people.
Yes, okay.
I'm trying to get some more donations.
Nephestus, Dad says, donate or I will sing. That just drives people away, Dad. All right, so is there anything else you want to have happen during the night without getting too elaborate?
I'm sure after a while I'll go off with a few fans.
Okay, go and okay, great. And so do that. Farhad, so are you going to sleep in the stalls?
I probably will eventually pass out in the stall,
Okay.
yes.
All right, because it's where you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's nice warm stalls and
Yeah.
such, so so everybody goes to sleep. You sleep a lot longer than normal, but you wake amazingly rested. Do you have any hit points down or any
Yeah,
negatives?
I do.
Fully healed.
Cool.
One night's rest. Anybody who's down any hit points, or if you gained hit points because of your level gain, you are at full hit points now if you slept. Those of you who didn't sleep yet, so that'd be Farhad and Lindalay, you've still gained half your hit points, but whatever the difference is, if you're missing some, you still gained half the difference in your hit points.
I've been
Even though
injured.
you
I'm not injured.
Okay, even though you have not slept. You are in a very good mood.
Do we still have talk? Is he still on?
My face
There it
hurts
is,
from the
okay.
smiling.
And yeah, so I'm sorry, talk. What did you end up doing?
Well, that kind of depends. Just how far out of his normal comfort realm would his intoxication get him?
It's still up to him. He's still it lowers his inhibitions, but it does not completely impair him. So he still can decide to not do anything he doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm. So, like, if like, 1 is a quiet wallflower and 10 is dancing on a table and taking off clothes.
Right, naked with a lampshade on his head.
Yeah, exactly. Scale 1 to 10.
Yeah, put him in the 3 to 5 range. Nothing too crazy, but definitely loosening up. Now keep in mind, you don't see any gnomes here. You do see plenty of fae, and then you've seen hobbits, half elves, and humans. Those are of the druids and such here. Yeah, halflings. Sorry. Yes.
This stuff mostly just makes you more likely to do things you want to do anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Lowers your inhibitions.
Yeah, your inhibitions. Yeah. But it doesn't force you to, and you wouldn't.
Try and focus himself towards the halflings.
Okay.
And he's at this point he's a little freaked out, and he's looking for comfort.
Okay, that's easily enough done.
Like, someone to tell him everything's all right.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to find that.
And then, depending on where things go from there, we'll see.
Okay. But it's a very friendly, not scary experience, and they share with you the constellations of the stars that you may have not known before from their perspective, and names of different trees and some of the other fauna and flora that you don't know. And it's a safe, enjoyable experience. But you do not sleep. But if you were missing hit points, split the difference.
Okay.
And when morning comes around, the dawn starts to rise. You're not hungover, but as soon as the sun starts to come up, you start feeling very sleepy and very hungry. Those of you who did remain awake through the night, your just ravenous appetite. And if you'd gotten on a scale, you would find that you'd lost. Not you, Talk, because you're tiny. But those of you of more human size had lost about 5 pounds just in that night.
Waffles.
But there's a new breakfast kind of feast laid out. It's a little bit lighter foods and such, but it's been laid out in the feast area. People are who did sleep are waking up and coming out to nibble away, and others who've been up all night have thrown their clothes back on and are coming back to enjoy. You guys wake up, you start hearing the rooster crow and normal, natural sounds, and a little bit of people talking in low voices kind of wake you up. So you all three wake up. I'll start with you, Torrin.
Oh, yeah.
So you're being nuzzled by Dobson. Licks you in the face. Licks you again.
Oh.
Looks expectantly at his empty feed bag.
Oh, it's breakfast
Feed
time,
trough,
isn't it?
whatever.
Alright, I get up and rummage around, brush hay off me, and take care
Okay.
of Dobson and Leon.
Okay. A couple of druids you see are helping take care of the other animals, but they seem to have left you to your own means.
Alright,
So,
I'm going to talk to them when I'm done, but we'll get
Okay.
there.
great. So you're doing that. Lily?
River is going to do her normal morning routine, and then she'll wander over to find food.
Okay. Moisha?
Moisha looks for a place to bathe.
Okay. They're over in the corners of the barracks were actually hot and cold running water with little screened partitions with large copper tubs.
He will go take a bath.
Yeah. Well, it's the
Because he did
advantage
not
of
last
nearby
night.
volcanic activity. What's that?
Because he just fell into bed last night.
Right.
He will
Okay.
bathe this
The
morning.
the warm water is a little sulfurous smelling, but not horrifically so. That,
So he will bathe in the warm water and then rinse in the cold,
okay. Great.
and then go look for food.
And there's also nearby a basin for scrubbing and washing clothing too. So just all the amenities you
Good
can
to
need.
know.
All right. So you're bathing. You're doing your routine. Talk.
Well, Talk, he would have found himself a halfling female and had one of those, chat all night, get to know each other type things.
So you met Fiona Applehill.
And basically, you ever have one of those things where you meet someone and for whatever reason you end up spending all night talking with them?
Yep. Great. So very wonderful, pleasant memories there. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience, just enjoying talking under the stars and the trees and such, and learning a little bit more about the place and people here. But now you're ravenous. You've lost a whole pound during the night.
Okay. And he repeated his backstory to Fiona.
Okay.
But this time not under magical duress.
Okay.
And feeling a lot more comfortable about the whole thing now that he's told his story to 2 different people.
Okay. Great.
He's kind of feeling a bit more open than he normally is.
Right. Yep. And as the night wore on, the psychedelic effects slowly reduced, but it's still, you don't feeling terrible, but you do feel very, very hungry.
Boy, I'm famished.
So am I. We need to go to the breakfast feast now the sun's up.
Oh, the only thing better than a feast is a breakfast feast.
Come this way. She takes your hand and leads you towards the feast area, because you did get a little disoriented as you wandered through all the different climates and woods and such here.
So,
Yeah, no idea where it is.
Yep. All right. And Firehawk.
So,
You had spent some time with some people who turned out to be Northronders. They were each well over 6 feet.
cool. In the morning, that was pretty nice. So, have you ever heard of Cord?
They have not.
The god of strength. I'm a follower of Cord's. I'm just a simple follower and new to the calling. However, he's the only god I've ever met who actually does something. Lots of times you pray to this god or pray to that god, and what happens? Nothing at all.
They
Cord gets.
So they kind of interrupt you. One of them. Let's see. Driana, and she interrupts you and says, we are druids, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
And, part of what we follow is the spirit of nature, and all the spirits of nature, yeah?
Being strong is something that's valuable in nature.
And
Right?
we don't have any... We have an immediate response from the spirits of nature, as in all these fae around us, yeah?
Yes, but they're not gods. They're just
Well,
cute little creatures.
there are many spirits of nature. There's Gaia and many others that we commune with many times, especially during these feasts. The next night will be, the first 3 nights are when we consort with the fae, but then the next few nights are with the greater spirits.
Oh, well, I would love to see that.
Well, you
That sounds
are
fantastic.
welcome to. We
Wow.
hope you will.
I've committed myself to Cord for the time being. So, first of all, before we go to breakfast, I'm going to do my worship. It just takes an hour, and then, man, I'm very excited to see what gods can do. And then he sort of gets up, starts doing his morning workout.
Okay. All right. But you're ravenous.
Yes, but he's gonna work out first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. They excuse themselves to go to the feast because they are ravenous as well. All right. So you're working out, and back to you.
I am eating one of everything available.
Okay.
So you're a Zen dieter.
Yes.
Maybe one with everything.
I'm trying to invent a pizza.
All right, Torrent. You finished taking care of Dobson.
Yeah, okay. And Leon.
They already took care of Leon.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't disturb you
All right.
in your stall.
Hey, is it true that you can You can talk to animals?
So this is a half-elf druid
Yeah.
helping.
Oh, wow, that's really something. How do you learn to do that?
It has taken a fair amount of training. It is part of our training that we do.
All right, then. Okay.
And we have some spells that help with it as well.
Oh, wow, so, like, you cast magic on an animal and he talks, or you like, cast magic on an animal yourself and you just hear him, or?
Either or, depending upon our abilities. We first of all learn to listen to the plants and the animals. Learn what they have to say first.
Oh, okay.
And much of that just comes from sitting and listening quietly for long periods of time.
So you sit and you listen and you don't talk none?
Right.
Oh, that's confused look.
What's this not talking thing?
Alright, so let me ask you something. So the short one has pointy ears. First vaguely describe like the one that brought us in that had healed Leon of his bite wound when we first got here.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like she's saying that Leon was had a different name at one point. I guess it was Killer. And I just couldn't understand if that was right. Like, can you ask him? Can you ask him like right now, or do you have to like cast some sort of magic spell, or?
And then Leon starts. Yes.
Wow, Killer, really?
That's what he was. He was raised to fight, and that was what they raised him as from a foal.
And he likes that.
He was raised to fight.
Oh, I mean, I understand, but does he like that? Is what I'm saying.
It is the name he grew up with.
No, I'm not saying does he like the name Killer. I'm saying does he like fighting?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
What he was raised to do. It is what he was bred and trained to do.
Huh.
Some horses were raised to race, others to pull a plow, and others to fight, and others to just ride. And that is what he has known since he was little, and it is what he enjoys.
Really? Wow. See, I would have never thought that. You think that, getting bit or stabbed or whatever.
He says he was really angry at that one that bit him, but was so glad to finally be in a little bit of a fray for once.
Wow.
He had been getting bored.
Really? Well, what else is he like?
I do have other work to do. I'm sorry, I have to take care of the others.
Yeah, I understand. I get that.
Why don't you spend some time and listen to him, and he might tell you what he wants. You don't always have to understand the language to understand what he wants.
Huh.
Can you be a druid, Cord?
You sit there and be quiet.
Listen and pay attention. They speak through their bodies, not just their noises.
Alright, then I guess it's gonna hurt to give it a shot. Like's fine, I ain't that so. Alright then. Thank you for your time. Well, hey, what's your name?
Faison Daron.
Faison de Ron.
Faison Daron.
Faison de Ron.
Faison
Faison
Daron.
de Ron. Well, I'm torn.
He shakes your hand.
Oh, thank you. Oh, great job with all the animals. I mean, they look great. They look fantastic.
Thank you. This place is very good for them. We take very, very good care of them.
All right then. Well, you sit and listen.
But
Right?
I must say, your animals speak well of you.
They do?
They said they've appreciated your care for them.
Oh, well, I mean, I try. I mean, I'm no druid, but
True. That is true. Excuse me. He moves on.
All right then. Well, I gotta get some grub. We'll be back. And we'll have a sit and a listen and not talk, I guess. All right. Make sure
So you're going to the Leon stall and sitting down and...
Well, first I'm going to
Get some
go
grub.
get food.
Oh, go get some food. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you go get some food. Great. All right. River. You
Uh,
finished your morning routine.
Yeah, River saw that Moisha took a bath and realized that's a great idea.
And there's 4 of them.
Yeah,
in this
so
thing.
she's
Great.
also gonna take a
All right,
bath.
great.
Yeah.
Okay. And hot and cold running water. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, mineral bath because it's coming up from some springs. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
All right. Moisha, you finished your bath?
And I'll scrub down Herschel and then take him to go find food.
How does Herschel feel about being scrubbed down?
Herschel doesn't mind it.
Okay.
It's not his first choice, but he's very tolerant of it.
Okay. He's a well-trained dog.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then you're going to go get food?
Yes.
Okay. And talk?
Doc is, I guess he's at the breakfast feast now.
Okay. And there are, the 200 or so adults and the 30 or so children there. Do you look for your compatriots? Just plop down in an available space. Look for anybody you sat with before. How do you pick?
I look for anybody from the team.
Okay. Is anybody there yet? I don't think any of you gotten there yet. Farhad?
Working out.
Once my workout's done, I'm gonna go bathe first, then get dressed,
Okay.
then eat.
Okay, so you're still working out then. So, and of course nobody knows your character yet.
Yeah, I was about to approach the person who looks the most alien
Mm-hmm.
amongst everyone here.
Mm-hmm. Who hasn't come out yet?
So would I have seen her?
You're talking about River?
Yes.
Last night, but
So,
haven't seen since last night.
I am looking for River.
Okay, all right. And Torin, you arrive first.
All right then. I immediately look around for Farhad.
You don't see him.
Huh. Yeah. I'll just eat that right now. I get like a very small plate of things, and I gotta do my morning workout. Farhad as soon as he shows up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're gonna eat first, but eat light.
Yeah.
Okay. There's lots. Yeah, nice variety of fruits and nuts and breads and other things. Not lighter stuff as well. There are various milks. You're not sure of all of the origins.
I go to wrap up something from my front pocket and realize it's not there.
You also see a lot of fae, some of which are sleeping and just on the ground. You have to watch your step. Some are like literally just sleeping in the
I
grass.
keep an eye out for those shoes.
You don't see them currently.
All right.
Some are dangling off of tree limbs or in a flower cup or off of the leaf of a flower. You have to watch your step very carefully because they seem to have partied and then just dropped where they stopped partying. Some of them are little clusters here and there as well, and they're just
I've had parties like that.
Yeah, they're just scattered here and there. So you do have to watch your step because remember some of the fae are very tiny. But none of them are within the feast area. And there's a few that are with the sunlight up and flitting about and checking out the flowers and other plants and such. But a lot of them are actually kind of sleeping right now or just starting to doze off. So you're looking for...
Farhad originally.
Okay, so you grab a little something to eat and then you go looking for Farhad?
Yeah.
Okay. River, you've finished bathing. Let me jump to Moisha first. Okay, so you finished scrubbing Herschel. You've done that.
And I go looking for food.
Okay, there's big old feast tables there. You see Torin looking around, some little wooden plate of food in his hand he's nibbling on. He seems to be looking around for somebody.
Torin.
Oh, hey!
Torin, how are you?
I'm doing real good, man. That's the best night's sleep I had in like forever. I feel great.
And you're seeing these fae everywhere. You have to step carefully until you get into the feast area.
Very well. It was nice to have a bed again.
You seen Farhad?
Not since last evening.
Oh, because we gotta do our blessings with Cord, and I don't see Farhad, so.
Well, he may be doing them on his own.
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm gonna go find him real quick, but yeah, just watch your step.
And remember, when you're talking, lean into the mic. So I know it's kind of a pain till I get some more microphones, but
yeah, these little guys are just everywhere. Hey.
Yeah, carefully tiptoe. Yeah.
Tiptoe through the
fairy. All right. So you're still looking for Farhad then? Kind of walk around. Again, in the feast area, you don't have to be worried about the fae.
Yeah.
But if you go outside, you'll have to watch your step carefully.
I gotta find Farhad because
all right.
my workout.
So you're looking all over the place. Moisha.
having finished talking to Torin, he goes up to the table and looks for food he recognizes.
Okay, there's plenty of it.
Um,
Yeah, it's not as exotic as last night's feast.
and so he'll have, grains and if there's something.
Muesli.
Yeah. He'll have grains and he'll look for bacon.
Okay.
And if
No bacon to be found.
there's no bacon to be
No
found.
bacon to be found.
Is
So
there
sorry.
anything
Any protein?
meat-like that we can give to Herschel?
Yes, there are meats. There just isn't any bacon for breakfast.
Okay.
Sorry.
Then he'll take rabbit or pork or whatever there is
Okay.
available and
All right.
split it with Herschel.
Okay. And talk.
Top's going to take his new friend over to Moshe as soon as he sees him.
All right. So Talk comes walking up, followed closely by a halfling female.
Talk,
Simple
how are
roll.
you? How was your evening?
Oh, it was lovely, actually. Well, it was actually terrifying and lovely, but it's a I've got mixed feelings about last night.
Well, at least it seems to have ended well.
This is my friend Fiona. Fiona, this is Moisha.
Hello, Fiona. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to be meeting you.
Take good care of our friend Talk here.
Oh, of course, of course. He's been a pleasure to talk to.
He
Yes,
usually
we've had a
is.
lovely chat.
Glad
Indeed.
to hear it.
Did you get to enjoy the evening and see the beauty of the stars and the Fae during the night?
I had a wonderful sleep in the barracks last night.
Oh,
It was the first time I've had a bed in months.
oh, that's true. I can see why that would. I can see that would make sense.
It was wonderful.
Well, if you get a chance to tonight, you don't want to miss out.
Well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Tonight is when the Fae throw the party for us.
Oh my.
Mm.
That sounds very interesting.
Oh yes, hold on to your hat,
Okay.
so to speak.
Moisha kind of starts to reach up for his helmet, which he's not wearing.
But really, Talk, could we go over and get some food here? I'm really starving.
Oh, yes. Why don't we go? I'm completely famished.
Okay, so takes you on over to a table and starts to just wolf down. Farhad, you've finished your morning workout.
Cool. In that case, I'm getting dressed in the Iridian travel clothes that I got when we picked up Genera and Karn, which are going to be my sort of fanciest, most leisurely clothes.
Okay.
And I'm going to go eat my fill.
All right. So as you're working your way back to the feast area, you hear Torin's voice calling out for you over and over.
Yeah, about that. All right.
Yes.
Hey, there you are. You ready to work out?
Hey!
We gotta do our core workout.
You see he's in different robes than you've seen him in.
Oh, that's awfully fancy.
This is a common man's clothes in my homeland. Good for traveling, maybe walking from town to town throughout the desert. It's warm enough here that I can wear it, finally.
And it's pretty much robes, right? Oh, it looks kind of like a dress, but not really girly-like. So it's all right.
Imagine Jasmine from Aladdin. That's what
But
Okay, that is girly girl.
is it supposed to show off that much midriff? Comparison?
Joe, do you want to re-describe what you're wearing?
Yes. It is travel clothes, so it's going to be in the same style of it's going to be mostly white to keep the heat off of you because it's desert travel gear. It's actually going to be a burnous on top, there's a
Head wrap thing?
cloth on the head that comes down, big robes. It's
So
very
maybe
sort of
maybe
flowy.
maybe more like Lawrence of Arabia.
Exactly, more like that. Not like
Alright, now, Jasmine.
That doesn't leave much to the imagination. I'm just saying.
I
You're
mean,
imagining way too much now.
this is the druid language. They don't use imagination, they use their bodies.
Okay. So.
No, I have already done my workout. I mean, I worshipped Cord a few times last night, and then once again this morning.
Oh, wow. That sounds tiring.
Yes, but Cord gives us strength, so even if you get tired,
Yeah.
you are given strength anew to continue.
That's right. Praise Cord.
Praise Cord.
Praise Cord. Alright, well.
Cord, the mighty God, he's really strong and he's way up there. He can make you stronger. If you want muscles, then make some.
I guess I'm going to go find some place to work out. I mean, I do it here, but it's like, can't step foot down without squishing some little fake thing. So.
Make your way over to the baths. They seem to be enough room for you to get sweaty and then get clean.
Oh, alright. I guess I'll catch y'all later then. So, come on. Alright. Go now.
So you going to the baths in the barracks, or you going to one of the grotto type baths?
Grotto bath.
Okay. So, part through the trees, there are many people in there bathing.
Oh.
Public bathing, if you will. Many being a dozen at this point. A lot of people are heading to the feast, but
Okay. Because extremely self-conscious
Yeah.
about working out in front of other people.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just cast it up for some place that's a bit more private.
you can easily find spots with all the wildlife and plants.
Just keep crowding in on people like, oh.
Yeah. Hey, watch it!
Excuse me. There we go. Oh. Didn't see y'all over there. Oh, come on, y'all just caked in mud. How do you expect me not to step on it?
All right, so you find a spot to work out.
Yes.
Okay, great. You're doing your morning cord workout.
Alright.
Good. All right, River.
Yeah, River heads over to the feast area.
Okay.
Expecting there to
So
be
you see Farhad, you're there feasting, right?
Yes.
Morsha?
Yes.
And Talk?
Yes, he is.
Feasting with Fiona.
Yes, Feasting with Fiona. That's the name of the chapter of this story, of this section of his autobiography.
Okay.
But he is eating more food than one would possibly believe that someone of his stature could.
Okay. So now you do see the person you were looking for arrive, and you're going to go up and sit with one of the others?
I'll just
Or
sit
just wherever?
just wherever.
Okay. Okay.
I come up, take off my hat.
So describe your character.
6'4". I have.
And Dan, do you want to pull up the web page with the? Oh, you did
He's
already.
got the
He's got
artwork
it up
up
there.
there.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Good job.
6'4", silver white hair, hazel eyes, very handsome, very large, floppy hat, wearing all purples, except for like the earrings that I have, 3 earrings in one side, a coin around my neck. You might recognize the coin, but I don't know where it's from. And have a actual quill in my hat. And I take off the hat and give it a deep, low blow, bow, and say, "Hail and well met, fair lady. Who do I have the pleasure of greeting today?"
Hello, my name is River, and it's nice to meet you.
It is much my pleasure to meet you. If you don't mind my ask, where are you from?
I am from lands far to the east of here.
How far east? The ocean's over.
Across the seas. So over the Dragon Spine,
still
across
don't
the
have-
Iridian Plains, and over the seas.
So, it's across the sea and
There's a map
the ocean.
right there on the screen.
I don't know what it's called, so.
The other place.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't recognize it if you told them.
Yeah.
It's just, but if you describe that, then they understand.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
across the eastern seas.
Across the eastern seas. Okay. I'm from far across the eastern seas.
Oh, do tell. I would love to hear a lot more about your lands, especially any stories or legends you have to share. I am a bard, after all, and studying the legends is what I do.
Well, I have, I guess, children's stories that I know that I could share with you, or, I mean, I haven't had many pleasant experiences from where I'm from, but, I'd also like to know about here, about this area, too, if you'd like to tell me.
Oh, we could definitely exchange stories. And children's stories are just fine, because I do make a good living for telling children's stories.
Okay.
Do you know any songs? Can you sing?
I don't sing.
Do you know the songs? Like, I mean, could you tell me the words to some songs? I would write them down and then we'd try to figure out how they
As a kid, you would have learned some.
Yeah, so sure, I guess so.
Translating might be a problem.
It will be a big problem.
Yeah, they might not translate.
I have
at all.
translated
Yeah, it does
like
not
a
work.
sentence. It
doesn't work.
I just saw a character. Just saw a Mongolian cowboy singing country music, and he does not know any of the words to the songs he's singing. So that's exactly what it's going to be like. I'm going to be singing songs from our country with having no idea.
If you want to
what they are.
see a show that gives you an interesting snapshot into Mongolian mystical culture, check out Strawlers. So Zombie Overfest Entertainment, you know, got folks who do the Gamers and Journey Quest and Demon Hunters and all of that. They've been doing on-site now. They have 3 movies now. So they have the first one is in Seattle. The second, then there's 2 others. One is in Ireland, and they filmed it on site in Ireland. Has to do with some of the Irish lore there. And then another one is filmed on site in Mongolia with a lot of the cultural beliefs about magic and such there.
And some actual shaman.
Yeah, so they brought in people who profess to be shamans and such.
That's on the Fantasy Network?
Yes, it's the thefantasy.network is the website, and you can stream that live, and membership I think is like $5 a month or something to all you can eat. So definitely check that out. The Strawlers, whichever one's the Mongolian one. It is subtitles. You got to read all subtitles, but it's quite interesting, and it gives some interesting insight into that culture. Be interesting if he does some from some of the others, as he keeps doing different locations. That'd be pretty cool. Okay.
So we spend time gathering. I pull out a scroll and I start taking notes, and we start sharing stories.
Yeah, and she'll help you write down stuff and Romanized letters.
And meanwhile, somebody who has a contract to get these stories is missing out.
All right. Torrent.
10.
Was that really 10?
1.
Do you think Farad would have said that was 10?
Quick question. Torrent has very good climbing ability.
Yes.
Does that mean he can do a chin-up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you show off with some chin-ups?
Yeah.
All right.
Which
One-handed, both ways, like that, then
we'll play
that.
around with things.
All right. So continuing on, so River and Lindale are talking. Moisha?
Moisha is half looking for someone to talk to.
Okay. Well, the sun is up. It is beautiful, but you notice it is clear blue skies above, and then as soon as it's outside of either of the walls, north or south, heavy, thick clouds. Dark, heavy clouds. It looks like it's snowing outside of the walls. But above you is a beautiful, clear blue sky with little fluffy clouds here and there. You don't know how much of that is illusion or what, but it is interesting that the sun is shining, over the Dragon Spine Mountains down into here. And it's kind of a late morning because it takes a while for it to rise over those mountains.
It's an illusion. In reality, we've all frozen to death.
So you're looking for
I'm looking for someone to talk to find out about this place.
people everywhere.
You want to talk to a little pixie?
Well, who's close to
no
me?
Fae in the food
Oh.
area. Well, on your right is a grizzled old fellow with the beard about to here. Looks to be in about his 60s, gnarled, weathered brown hands, dirt under the fingernails and such. Very thin, and he's enjoying his food. And on your left is a younger lad, maybe in his mid-20s. Just kind of an average-looking fellow, dark hair, human. Both are human where you're sitting right now. And he's eating away mightily.
Hello, sir. I must compliment you on your beard.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Sorry, my sapientium's not strong.
Neither is mine.
You speak not?
No.
Not language of not folk.
No. Where is it? Where did my language
Druidic?
go? No. Card? Dwarven language. Well, maybe we'll have to settle for Septiemtium.
I do best I can.
Me too. So, how long have you been here?
Oh, since about his age, my 20s, long ago.
Oh.
Come down from north. I was one of the runners, escaped before they ate me.
Who was trying to eat you?
The Jotunheim.
The who?
The giants of Jotunheim.
Oh. That sounds horrible. Where are they?
Up north. Far north. South of Northport, but far north of here.
The giants of North.
They eat our kind for snacks, or have us fight in arenas for their entertainment.
Oh, that does not sound good at all.
It is not.
It does not sound
My
good at all.
people gave me up when I was young, and I was lucky to escape.
Oh, my heavens.
The druids took me in. I had nothing. And I had a way with nature and surviving, and I have been helping them as one of their gardeners and learn their ways.
Well, how fortunate for you.
It wasn't always like this, they tell me. That is why the gates are so huge.
Well, I see that it's a beautiful day, but if you look at the walls, it seems awfully dark.
Yes, well, outside the protective climate of the great druids, it is a heavy storm right now.
Do you know why it doesn't storm here?
It does when they want it to, all in measure. If you look over there, and he looks to the west, you can see it's raining right there in the tropical zone.
Well, that would make sense. Sort of.
But they made it nice for us for the feast.
Well, that was good. It is nice and comfortable.
Yeah. Yes.
So, did you have a lovely evening last night?
Oh, yes, it is. I always look forward to the fall festival. Yeah. Okay, we're going to leave it there to take a break. We have a short 10-minute break here, but we'll be back, so stick around.